Welcome to this episode of Growing at Reiman Gardens. My name is Betsy Eness, and I'm the indoor horticulturist here at Reiman Gardens. We're going to show you today some different ways to wrap your gifts so they are sustainable, yet still elegant. So what makes gift wrapping sustainable? The first thing would be the obvious using recycled paper and recycled ribbons, and there are limitless sources on the web to find recycled wrapping and ribbons. The second idea I had is using things from your own house that you've already used and reusing them as gift wrap. I think most of us have received a package wrapped in newspaper or the funnies. Some other ideas to make that more personal would be to wrap a present in an article that was about a specific person or about an event that they were really involved in. Another idea is I wrapped this box in a map. It would be a wonderful gift for someone who is moving or going on a travel adventure or just enjoyed traveling in general. Another idea for paper is using concert posters or different posters from a room to wrap a present with. You can also use catalogs or calendars. Some other ideas for items that have been reused. For this package, I simply used an old dress that I had bought at Goodwill, and I cut the fabric off the bottom and wrapped the package in that. You can go down the aisles at Goodwill or Salvation Army and look for patterns and different things that you find interesting. I also look for different fabrics on shirts that have different jewels or different adornments that would be interesting for a package. The other idea I had was this is actually an old jeans skirt, and I simply hemmed it at the bottom to make a gift bag. So when I take the ribbon off, I just put ribbon through the belt loops and put a reusable hanky in the top for the stuffing. You can either reuse it as the bag like that with the drawstring, or you could also put handles on, simply sew handles on, and they could have a bag to carry. So not only has it been used once before, but it could be used again. Using gift bags is a great way to use sustainability in your gift wrap. But what if you want to dress your package up and make it look a little bit more elegant? I have this simple gray bag. And an idea I have is if you come through and take that cord out, if you just have a plain looking cord, you can go ahead and cut that out and put a different ribbon on. Put a shiny ribbon and an ornament on, and it takes it from a plain paper bag to a fancier gift. They can also reuse the ornament on their tree. So it's another decoration that can also be sustainable because you can reuse it. A lot of us have old paper bags that are kind of beat up. And I'm going to show this idea. Obviously, a bag that's been reused many, many times is getting a little rough on the edges. So I took it and I replaced the handle with a little twine. I also took fabric from a fabric book, from a decorator fabric book, and cut it out and just hot glued that on. The picture is an old Christmas card that I reused. All of this is just glued one on top of the other using techniques similar to scrapbooking. And then I took 2 pieces of cinnamon stick and glued them to the top and bottom, so it also has a nice Christmas smell. This is just an old birthday bag that I had, and I changed the handle to a silvery handle or something metallic and added some details with buttons and made it go from a birthday bag to a cute Christmas bag for a young girl. Another idea for sustainability in bags is using your old grocery bags and department store bags and remaking them into a gift bag. We had an abundance of these Reiman Gardens bags, so I'm going to show you a couple different things that I did with those that you could use for all different types of bags that you collect from different department stores and grocery stores. The first idea here, I removed the handles and actually used the original handles, but I cut the cording off of the ties of an old dress that I got at Goodwill and covered them with the fabric. I also found an old picture, or you could use pictures out of a magazine, and placed on the front of the bag just with glue, hot glue, or even an Elmer's glue. And I used wallpaper samples and fabric samples to cover the rest, and then made a bow to tie it and complete it together. Another fun thing about this bag, instead of tissue paper, a more sustainable way to cover up your package, this is just a section cut out of a shirt. And these are fabric samples instead of tissue paper, and everything can be reused. I found this old vintage record at the Goodwill store. I just simply removed the record and glued the record cover to the bag. And then I put ribbon as a border and tied it on for a really neat vintage look. You could use someone's favorite record or something from a time period where they really were reminiscent of. I then had the record and wanted to, use that for something. And it also had a season's greeting since I had used a Christmas record. So I glued the record to a bag. And also just used a wallpaper sample, a couple different wallpaper samples, and then put a photo on it. Instead of gluing the photo on, I just used photo squares for the corners. And so I can pop that picture out and that can be part of the gift. It's excellent for family members because they can take that and frame it or put it on the fridge after Christmas. This is just an old picture frame. And I took out the glass for safety reasons, obviously, and put a fabric sample inside the frame. And then I glued it with hot glue to the bag. This bag was made using a wallpaper, just a page from a wallpaper sample book. I glued on a few buttons and then added an old Christmas card. I had also changed the handles so they matched the general theme of the bag. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing at Reiman Gardens. Have a happy and sustainable holidays.